ThunderCats!
Thunder! Thunder! Thunder!
Hey, how are you? I'm Larry Kenny, the voice of Lion-O, here today for my good friends Ryan and David. You may know if you listen to the podcast Radical Retro Rewind.
I love it. All of it.
Radical Retro Rewind.
She even looks older!
Likes my art collection?
Yeah, we've heard that one before, Mummy.
What is it? I heard him shout.
Oh, yeah.
ThunderCats! Oh!
Who you calling a hoe? Welcome back, Bunglers, to another episode of ThunderCats Reviews, brought to you by the Radical Retro Rewind podcast. As always, I am your host, Radical Ryan Hunter, here with everyone's favorite brother and mine, David, for the last two episodes of ThunderCats Season 3. Hi, David. Well, hello, gorgeous people. I'm here. I recently was on the Circus train. And then I was on the last day. It's so terrible. So we have finally reached the last day, David, with that anticipation that we sent 2 weeks ago with our farewell to Hachi. We mentioned that the last day and the circus train would be coming up. And then we are taking our summer hiatus. But don't worry, Bunglers. We will be checking in on you. We'll try to give you some little extra bonus episodes here and there to fill your summer with still ThunderCats magic. And David, you know I love when this happens. A new Bungler reached out to us.
I was thrilled. I actually got this when I was at work. Ryan immediately sent me a text message with screenshots because we're like that. And I was just so excited to read it. I must have read it like 5 or 6 times. It made me so happy. I was actually in the middle of a training, but I was like, oh, I need to put this on pause and watch this, read this over and over again. It made me so happy. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there.
So this is from Tim, and of course this is not a mail episode, but we figured since this is our last episode of the season, let's say hello to Tim. And Tim says, I really bungled it up. How have you guys been around for years and I'm just finding out? Must have been my extended stay of mine on the penile planet. But I digress.
Mumm-ra, evil chaser.
I'm surprised she didn't make an appearance today, right? So Tim says he is a lifelong ThunderCats fan. It premiered 2 days before he was born. The show, the toys, the comics, old and new, have held such a special place in my heart. The reboot attempts recaptured some of that joy, but it's not the same. I've binged for the past few weeks, and I'm just a few episodes away from being caught up. The love you guys express for the show, along with your banter, your insight, and all the Buffy, Mariah, and Drag Race references has made me appreciate the show even more, and I didn't even know that was possible.
That was amazing. That I had a smile from ear to ear. Thank you so much. That's what we're doing this for. And the $8 every quarter.
Oh my God. You remember that is the lucky number, $8. And Tim asks a question for us. Why do you think ThunderCats appeals to the gays? I am part of other fandoms that the gays love, but seem to be no-brainers. Buffy, Star Trek, X-Men, and the Golden Girls, to name a few. Now Charmed? Now Wooden Shoes?
You can't have everything. You can't have everything, Brian.
Tim, no Charmed? You guys have talked about Tigra being gay-coded, and Matesh's daughter's very thought-provoking take on mumm-ra being trans. That takes us back to, my goodness, I remember that.
Hi, Matesh.
You may have heard this before, but Vulture-Man was also considered to be gay, according to writer Matthew Malik. Oh boy. You know me on this show.
Don't mess
you
this
know
up,
me
Ryan.
on this show.
This is a writer now. This is royal ThunderCat royalty.
Malach. Matthew, ThunderCats seems to have quite the gay following, and as a gay man myself, I've always wondered why. Best of luck into season 4. It's not the greatest batch, but we do get a few great moments. Can't can't wait to hear you break it all down. First off, Bunglers, let's welcome Tim to our official group. We love when we get another Bungler. Oh my God, thank you so much, Tim. David, is there something off the top of your head? Because honestly, doing this, we never set out to find, specifically gay fellow ThunderCats fans. But honestly, that is like part of the fandom and a very big part of the fandom. Of course, we are all just fans, but it does seem to be a subgroup of gay fans that just love ThunderCats. Off the top of your head, is it? I'm thinking we love strong females. Okay, so throw them out.
Actually, we could probably do a whole thing on it. So I'm going to try to condense what I'm saying because we actually have 2 episodes to get to.
A Dateline special on this.
A few things that stand out. One, obviously, the rippling muscles. So first off, I knew oh my God, we're going deep now. I knew I was gay when I was 5 years old. We've talked about this already. Yes. I didn't know what it meant. I just knew that I liked the boys, but I was shy of spending time with the boys. And I gravitated towards girls because they were safer for me. But I always wanted to be with the boys, but I couldn't. We were different. Obviously, being attracted to a masculine character, but also is approachable. So ThunderCats, even though they're very hyper masculine looking and they personify a lot of masculinity physically, but also in what they do, they fight. There's many masculine characters. You have He-Man, but He-Man, again, very soft-hearted.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
ThunderCats. So again, that very soft-sided, that duality of being very masculine, hyper-masculine in many ways, but also very soft, which we always approachable. We always contribute to being gay, being more of a duality as far as being feminine and masculine, at least from my perspective. I could be wrong. Maybe someone will correct me on that. So definitely you have that aspect of it. Obviously, I used to like the Dukes of Hazzard, the reruns of the Dukes of Hazzard when I was a kid because I thought they were, I was attracted to them. I didn't, not sexually, but I gravitated because I thought they were cute. But I didn't know what that meant then because I was whatever, 5 or whatever. So there's that part of it. That's just one thing.
That's not even like a superficial level of everything.
Yes.
Because I know it's deeper for you. But can I tell you, I don't know what it is because honestly, I could tell you 100%. I never really thought of these characters even as a kid, I never thought they're so attractive. I never thought of the muscles. I don't know. I must have been and it wasn't the muscles for me. It was the magic and things like that. I'm sure
I'm not saying consciously you think about these things.
No, of course not.
And even what I just said, I don't think I was trying to say that they were rippling muscles and I was sexually excited by them.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he was even that for you either. I'm sure on some level, but when you were talking, something came to my mind, and he mentioned shows like Golden Girls and Buffy. And ThunderCats, what's the fundamental in all of that? A found family, right? A strong bond with friends. You make your own family. The ThunderCats are all different, they're family, even though they're not officially. The Golden Girls, Dorothy and Sophia are related, but it's a found family. Buffy, found family.
We often say it is often said in the gay community, it's not necessarily the family that you're born into, it's the family that you create. And that is very much true for myself. I got married and I adopted my gaggle of children, my brew of children, 4 kiddos. We are not bound by blood, we're bound by love and the court system. No.
Oh my God. Officially in the
court. Officially, no.
Mandora approved.
Yes. She will not, I will not spray her in the face from my purse. Of course there is. There's also the fact of being an outsider. I'd be honest with you. So here's the funny thing. I work in a very masculine, I guess you would consider to be a very masculine industry.
Yes.
And it's funny thing is I was working on doing something. I'm doing very, at this point, I was doing a training, but I was also doing very heavy labor at the same time. And a man came up to me just yesterday and said to me, was making a joke, is that guy gay over there? Ha ha ha, is that guy gay? Because he equivalated this man who I know, because I work with him, who is married with kids, asking me because I guess don't show being gay or whatever in his mind. He's like, is that guy gay? Because the way he's talking and stuff. And the guy that I work with is kind of very openish, and he's not very like, I don't know what you want to say. He's younger, and he's just like of that kind of age range where he's not very like whatever, like it doesn't matter to him. He doesn't have that narrative where he has to be a certain way. So let's kind of roll it back to the actual conversation at hand. Being an outcast, the ThunderCats are an outcast. They're outcasts. They've been displaced. Many of us in the gay community have been thrown out for being gay, have been abused for being gay, have been displaced for being gay, much like the ThunderCats were taken from their home and displaced. Now, and again, maybe someone might say that's a far fetch for many people, but unless you've been in that situation where you've been, taken from the safety of your home, or in this case, your planet, and thrown someplace else in an unsafe environment, you wouldn't understand that. But so there's also that aspect of it. It's also the aspect of being bullied.
Oh, by mumm-ra, yes.
But that's a big thing too, like why we relate to kind of joining together and finding this ragtag group, because the Burbles are very like sweet and very non-confrontational.
Yes.
And I will say the other thing that came to mind, and I know you need to speak, is that many time nerds and gays are very much grouped together, because nerds are also outcasts. There's a lot of nerdy gays too, by the way. Nerds are often, quote unquote nerds, are often put in the same category. We're outcasts because they're not into sports, or they're not hyper masculine, or whatever the case is. And don't get me wrong, I love masculinity. I'm whatever, the whole toxic masculinity thing, whatever. But we're often put together in that way too, as outcasts, and kind of so. Vulture Man is a nerd.
Yes, he is. Yes, he.
Vulture Man is feminine, but there's also that coding where, first of all, Tigra is more effeminate. He's slender. He's smaller than the other ThunderCats.
Yes.
So we always equate,
his figures were too.
Because we are programmed to believe that gay men are feminine. Even when I'm like getting into like I don't know if you know about this, like the Omega Alpha Beta universe.
Is that colleges?
No, it's a gay thing. It's like stories like the Omegas are like the feminine, like they can have children. The Alphas are like the hyper masculine males, but they're gay. So anyway.
What? I've never heard of this. Okay.
But anyway, so maybe people relate to that. Also, Vulture Man also did present more nerdy, more feminine than Monkey, who was beating his chest, or Slive, who was a certain...
This generation? I don't know. I've been very lucky. I have to tell you. I have been very lucky with this. I really have not had any problems because I was gay. I get along with straight...
Well, I get along with everybody, too.
No, I know, but I mean, like, I have not personally, I can't tell anybody, like, besides maybe one incident, and it was a little girl, of all people, that I had about being gay ever. So I've been very lucky with this. I think I have a very, like... idyllic view on the world in a way, because I haven't personally had any things, but I can see the outsiderness and this and the elements of what can contribute. But I gotta say, and it's so on a selfish level, like a superficial level, but we love strong female characters too.
And that's true too. And then
Chitara is like the female character for all ages. She was one basically almost, I mean, besides Wilykat, for the entire the warrior maidens. We love strong females that I am a woman.
Well,
that
because
is so
again,
strong.
Honestly, we're going real deep now on this ThunderCats, okay? I can see why it would relate to, obviously, strong females, the underdog, feeling like an outsider, having to create your own family, some of the masculinity, obviously, because you have to, underneath, maybe not in a sexual way, but when you're attracted to something, you're attracted to something. I'm attracted to boys. I've always been attracted. Every time, whether it was Dukes of Hazzard, whether it was ThunderCats, He-Man, I know what kind of guys I liked. Hey, Prince Adam was not my type, but He-Man, tan.
I feel like any fandom any fandom gives you an escapism. Star Wars, Charmed, Sailor Moon, you all get an escapism that you can escape into a world, and the only problem is the forces of evil are coming. Like, I think that's another thing. It's escapism at its finest, and that welcoming, loving feeling, like you were saying. And since we do have quite a few of our bunglers who are gay, if anyone wants to express what particularly about ThunderCats for you is the magic formula. Thank you, Tim. Thank you so much for this. We have 2 jam-packed episodes, and we want to say that the last day, I always remember the last day being amazing as one of my favorites as well. My goodness, Juan said he's looking forward to the reviews of the mess that is the circus train and his favorite episode, The Last Day. Oh, and then also Carissa asked our bunglers where they would live on Third Earth, and Daniel wrote that I'm with Ryan, I'd live with the Burbles on Third Earth, so Daniel and I are going to have candy
Daniel.
for breakfast. Costas says, and this is part of a bigger message, and we'll get into it with mail, but Costas says, in regards to the question, as Ryan knows, I am a creature of the sea, so if I lived on Third Earth, I would probably pick Tuscania. It has water, lakes, gorgeous sunsets. Maybe it's what became of Australia? Australia, we speak your name too, Australia.
Shout out. Shout out, people. Shout out.
So thank you so much for this, David. Should we get into the circus train? Mitesh also loves The Last Day, by the way, as well.
The circus train.
I might be crazy, but I found quite a few things in this very appealing. In the craziest way possible, though. Like, in a crazy way.
So, you found it very appealing, Ryan. Oh, okay.
So this is The Circus Train, with the original air date possibly of September 29th of 1988. It is episode 109 of season 3, a bounty hunter known as Captain Bragg. And is that supposed to be like he's bragging?
I just put Bragg's as Safari. Is that Safari Joe's cousin?
Yes, he is. Okay, you already spoke my language. Possibly got a deal on bars too, bars and cages. He comes to Third Earth to help the ThunderCats rid the mutants and the lunatics. After a talk with Wilykat, Captain Bragg tricks the ThunderKitten into going with him. So we have kidnapping, we have snake oil salesman, catnapping. We also have the return of cat cursing. Did you notice? And David was the one who came up with the last time he said Holy Jaga, and he says Holy Jaga again in this episode. So David, a similar sight. We start with Lionel, Linkso, Kit, and Kat at the Tower of Omens, and then I wrote a sword-shaped advertisement glides down on a parachute. It opens up and it says, "Have no fear, Bragg the bounty hunter is here." And the whole entire time I keep thinking of Dog the bounty hunter.
I'm the dog, the big bad dog, the bounty hunter.
I thought of that too.
Some kind of missile is headed straight for us.
It's too late to activate our defense lasers. We'll have to put our trust in the Eye of Thundera.
It should be visible now.
There!
What on Third Earth is going on? Have no fear. Bragg the bounty hunter is here. Would you look at that? It's some kind of advertisement.
What nerve! Scaring us half to death!
Look, there's something else up there.
We also get this fun new circus music in this episode, if you notice. They have new arrangements throughout this. First off, they think it's a missile, by the way, that's heading to the Tower of Omens.
I would too. He said, I guess we're going to have to rely on the Sword of Omens. It was coming in too quick.
Well, gee.
Lionel happened to be there. Just happened to be there.
But did you notice, like I wrote a similar site, there's a lot times lately, it's Lionel, Linkso, and the kittens. I'm surprised Snarf wasn't there.
Snarf, snarf, snarf.
It's landing right in front of the Tower of Omens.
Wow! It looks like a circus train.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see before you the one and only Captain Bragg, the galaxy's most renowned bounty hunter.
I happen to be Cronan the Wonder Crow. Look!
For a modest fee, I will rid your planet of any and all undesirables.
What an offer.
These troublemakers will be transported to my famous Zoo's Who of Bad Guys on the island of way out back.
It's escape-proof.
Also included in this offer is a free bottle of invisible oil with a 90-day guarantee.
Well, step right up. This offer's too good to miss.
This Captain Bragg has a crow sidekick. It's very Disney, I feel like, Song of the South. Like, what is going on with this crow?
I don't know, but he sounded like either the Vlasic pickle stork or Charlie, Charlie the tuna from Starkiss Tuna. I don't know. He was giving me one of those.
He had that kind of like, yeah, you see, right? Like
I was waiting to go, hello, my baby, hello, my honey.
Speaking of Safari Joe, he had Mule, the train. This is a train with a crow and Captain Bragg.
Did you feel like in the very beginning that he was almost giving me vibes, because I didn't remember this episode. He was almost giving me vibes that he was going to capture the ThunderCats too at first.
Well, he's up to no good.
He's not on the up and up. Yeah, he's not on the up and up.
He does do that, and this happens a few times. His eyes cross and go all around, and it controls Wilykat. His eyes get loose. His eyes become detached.
So this circus guy shows up, and he basically they go to meet him after this kind of theatrical performance. He says that does he actually reveal that he's looking for? He does reveal that he's looking for the mutants, right? He
says that the mutants are worth 1,000 apiece or something like that, and him and the crow. The crow holds up the mutant posters, all 4 of them on his wings. I love this, and Bragg's holding up the lunatics. By the way, stupid question, David. Who is supplying this bounty? Mandora?
Evil chaser.
Who else is looking for the mutants and the lunatics, really? No one. So this makes no sense to me. I'll give you the biggest bungle in this whole thing is all it took was a circus worker to get every villain on this planet after 4 years.
I have some interesting thoughts about that.
So Cat is taken by
hypnotized. He's hypnotized.
But even before that, he tries to sell a bottle of invisible oil, and Lion-O says he's a con man.
Yes, he's very
that's a con man.
He's a grifter. Seen them before. He's a con man. I know his type. On the road,
they come in, they come out.
I've seen him at a rest stop a few times.
They never call back.
Oh, wait a minute. That's my thing. Okay, sorry.
Cat is taken, and he said he's going to go down, and Kit says the circus bores her. Really, Kit? Does the circus bore
I didn't know there was so many circuses that came to Third Earth.
That's what I was saying. I was like, really?
She's like, the circus when I can just go see the living ooze or the widow shark or see a unicorn, like the last unicorn.
That is so true.
Oh my god, I can go to what's her name? But what was from the last unicorn?
Mommy Fortuna.
Mommy Fortuna's circus. You know, Mommy Fortuna's circus is in town too.
You know what, Wilykat? I don't go for circuses.
So can I ask you something quickly? So Cat goes down initially by himself, and they're like, oh, like does that also show you that they kind of view him, the kittens, as adult? Like they're because I wouldn't have let him go. He really didn't know anything about this circus thing. After all the things they've been through,
I don't think he told Lion-O. He just
he said I'm gonna go down, and she's like, I don't like a circus.
That's what she's like. She's like, the circus bores me. I'd rather the streets of Brooklyn.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to get a pizza. She's
Bye.
going. I'm gonna get a cannoli. I'm going to Little Italy to get a cannoli.
Boy! Is there really such a thing as invisible oil?
No, of course not. Captain Bragg is a con man, all hot air.
Yeah? Well, I'm going down and check him out. Coming, Wilykat?
No thanks. Circuses bore me. They're for kids.
That's what you think.
So he goes down, and Captain Bragg is sitting there, and this is when he does his eye hypnotism.
Well, my boy, ready to purchase a bottle of invisible oil?
What a bargain.
Excuse me, Captain Bragg, but Lion-O says there's no such thing.
What? I can't believe I heard that.
A disgrace.
Look in these eyes. Do they look like the eyes of someone who would tell an untruth?
Well, the eyes have it.
I'm well known for my veracity.
And he tells the truth, too.
Yes, sir.
Now watch carefully, my boy.
You're gonna love this.
Now, what do you say to that?
Wow, it works.
His eyes are like Google eyes. Like they just go in circles and spin and all these different directions.
But the crow does it later too. Why are they all cross-eyed crazy?
I don't know.
This is where we see them actually holding up the posters. Earlier, they just tell Lionel that they're able to capture any villains. And he must have been like, try 4 years on this planet. So Kat says, well, they've been the mutants, this is the best. The mutants have been laying low, which is something that David and I actually said. I think we said it in joke because we were just saying like they're fed up. But this is like in canon that the mutants have been laying low. They're tired of all this.
Who are we going to start with?
Hawk? Well, how about the mutants? Those babies are worth 1,000 smackers apiece.
Their base is Castle Plundar, but they've been laying low.
Don't you worry. We'll smoke them out.
Hawk? Smoke mutants?
So he's going to help him, right? He's going to help him capture the mutants and the lunatics. And each time, if Kat's having a bit of a maybe apprehension, the eyes go again. So the next scene, we see this circus train parked. And who is here? Monkey and Jackalman. They come across this, and David Bragg says, oh, see the galaxy's most talented mutant, Merna.
Oh, I love this. Merna is on her farewell tour. Apparently, Merna and Cher and Elton John are all touring recently. The marvelous Merna is on her farewell tour. Oh.
Does she sing? Does she dance? Does she show off things?
It's Lydia. Oh, have you met Lydia? Lydia the tattooed lady.
This is Merna.
Merna, the marvelous Merna. Did you notice that Jackalman has heightened senses in his ear? He can hear, like they heard the sound of something in the woods. He was giving me Linkso ear, a little Linkso ear.
Which happens in these episodes.
Monkey was very excited. He was getting a little aroused there. It looked like he wanted to get into that to see marvelous Merna. I guess his woman in the tree wasn't doing it for him anymore. His source.
They were
I met her in a tree.
One time only, see the galaxy's most talented mutant.
This is something we shouldn't miss.
Step right up and see the sight of a lifetime. The gorgeous, glamorous, glittering female mutant, marvelous Merna.
Come on, let's go take a look.
Here comes a pair of good-looking fellows. Gentlemen, this is your lucky day. Marvelous Merna's on a farewell tour. This may be your last chance to see her.
I don't see a thing.
Just step right in, and you will see the object of your heart's desire.
You boys, come on in and meet Marvelous Merna.
Come on, this we gotta see. Where's Merna?
In your dreams, banana breath.
You are right, because they got close to the thing and they're like, we don't see anybody. And so the crow pretends to be Merna and gives not even his best. To me, it could have just sounded like my voice.
I could have done it.
Yeah, it wasn't even female. Like, it was just like, hey, gentlemen, come on in. Desperation is hidden. They ran in, and the best part is when Vulture-Man sees this, he goes, they just walked into a cage. So they go in and they're like, where is she? Bars and the Merna sign actually does stay part of it, because they we might need to use this again.
Then you pan to Slythe and Vulture-Man, and he's like they're idiots. They got caught, basically,
but
right?
That was hysterical. Like, Vulture-Man just go, they walked into a cage, and Slythe drags him. He's like, no, we're going over to that.
He grabs him by the hand. He goes, I want to see Merna.
And he's probably like, you fool!
And Vulture-Man's like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go.
But I love that he's just like, yeah, we're gonna see Merna. We're gonna give it to him. Where's Merna?
Oh, did you see that? Those two idiots walked right into the cage.
Well, Monkey and Jackalman never were too bright, yes?
Oh, I reckon that Bragg fellow must be some kind of bounty hunter. We better lay low for a while.
No way, Vulture Man.
Wait a minute. Where are you taking me?
I'm going to see Marvelous Merna, the most talented mutant in the world, and you're coming with me. And we'll free those two idiots, Jackalman and Monkeyin, yes?
Merna's reputation precedes her, can I just tell you?
Merna, she's very generous, apparently. I could tell. She's one of those generous types.
Bragg wants to try to trick him with Merna again. They know Merna doesn't exist at this point.
Slide pushes Braggs into the same cage as Monkeyin and Jackalman, and he proceeds because he goes, there's a Thunder Kitten or ThunderCat.
They see him in the window.
And they're going to grab him.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right this way for the treat of a lifetime. See Marvelous Merna. Put me down, sir. There's been some mistake. No mistake. I want to see Merna out here right now, yes? I just don't think that's possible, sir. You see, Oh, I think it is. Stop, sir. Yes. I'll see if she'll come out. No, you go get her.
Mutants!
What happens is Cat actually ends up trying to operate this spaceship or this train, this space train.
That's what it is. Yes. And at the same time, Vulture Man and Slither grab onto the train. So they're on the side of the train at the moment.
So he's pressing all these buttons that are like just random letters.
CTW, SU, SD.
Emergency.
Why couldn't any of them be named correctly? And he's giving abbreviations. CTW must mean circus, train, something. Or SU means this. Captain Bragg is crazy. Just put it on the button.
What's happening?
He hit the CTW button.
Well, what does CTW mean?
Crack the whip.
I've got to stop this before the train flies apart. SU. That has to mean straight up.
So he's pressing all this button, and at the same time, I love this because the mutants aren't doing anything to Captain Bragg. They're not saying, how did you do this? Why did you do it?
I see. That's the first thing I thought. As soon as he got into the cage, I would have beat him senseless.
But they don't. They end up becoming part of the comedy act. They're falling on each other. They're flying this way. They're flying that way. They're going up. They're going down.
And then you have the outer monologue of Bragg's, Captain Bragg's there or whatever. He's going, I hope he doesn't press the buttons. Oh.
Sure enough, he presses this button and they're skyrocketing into...
Are they going into thrust?
Mega thrust? They're going into mega thrust. Vultureman and Slide on the outside are just making me laugh as well. They're up, they're down, and then at one point, Vultureman pulls out this very curious looking item. I wasn't sure what this was at first. Did you notice this long black thing that he pulled out?
Yeah, I was like, what is this? What is he trying to pull out? The Mary Poppins umbrella?
And sure enough, he pulls out an umbrella and they're gliding down, and then does he make a reference that Slide's weight was the reason why the umbrella broke? If it wasn't for Slide's density.
Another reason why he is gay. He's Mary Poppins. No.
And especially after reading what Tim wrote earlier and watching this episode, and when he pulled out that long thing, I said, what is happening? What is this lion-o? What is it?
It's Mary Poppins umbrella. That's what I put. I said, did he really just pull out a Mary Poppins umbrella? That's also very WB, I was going to say Acme.
Yes.
The umbrella, Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, kept the little tiny umbrella.
1,000%.
Coyote, all that stuff.
That this would actually glide to full humans down in any means. Or
Alice in Wonderland. There's a few, people use
Alice in Wonderland, that's true. But in any way would this work? It's an invention anyway. Bragg is like, I hope he presses this button, and sure enough, Cat presses the button, and the train stops. Now, we cut to Sky Tomb. The Crab Shack is still there, David.
They're not even in Sky. That's what I put. I said, why are the lunatics in Captain Cracker, Joe's Crab Shack still? Now, they do talk about that.
Sky Tomb is still damaged,
Alaro says
too,
that
right?
they can't fix it.
It's hopeless. We just don't have the equipment to fix Sky Tomb.
So we're stuck in this boring dump.
Look at Red-Eye! All we need is a little transportation! What would you say to an intergalactic circus train? You're supposed to be the eyes of this outfit, Red-Eye! Take Tugmug and go check it out!
My pleasure, boss.
Let me ask you this. It's just a quick question on that. Why, even if it wasn't mobile, why couldn't they still stay in Sky Tomb? They had to stay in this little Joe's Crab Shack, Captain Cracker's Crab. I love calling it Joe's Crab Shack, but Captain Cracker's Shack. Why would they have to stay in that shack as opposed to staying just in the remnants of Sky Tomb? Is it because it's like really destroyed? Like, is it open spaces? Is there no plumbing? Is that because that shack didn't look like it had anything in either? My children have a bigger fort in the backyard.
That is so true, and then you're so right. Why couldn't they just stay in there? It has to be better off than what they have in this shack.
It's so funny when you see Frost. Oh God, I was going to say Frost. Isn't that funny?
Well, she might as well
Shira.
be.
Chilla looking out the window.
Chilla is just
giving comedy
Chilla
relief.
Steals the show every time now that she's in these episodes. And is this continuity again that Sky Tomb isn't working?
I just found it really funny. You see where they're discussing like, well, maybe we can use this circus train as some form of transportation.
How does everyone know what a circus is? After Earth has died twice before, circuses still will remain in the galaxy.
I don't know because
Spaceballs. Speaking of Spaceballs, we just did last week.
Barnum and Bailey is gone. I know that there are some like European circuses that do come and tour the United States because they do. I have seen one here in my own town.
Or Zach, where he works, they had like a circus from like South Africa, I want to say, visiting.
I don't know. I have not been to any of these modern day circuses. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if it's more theatrical shows.
Do the animals
or the trapeze artists? Well, I don't think they do a lot of animal. I think that's because of animal cruelty and stuff. I don't think they do like the animal things. Maybe they do more trapeze artists and sword swallowing and all that kind of like stuff. Maybe
they survive.
Cirque du Soleil.
Maybe that's the equivalent of it. We're going to Vegas, Chilla.
So they decide they're going to grab the circus train as a means of transportation.
But Bragg is ready. They come upon him while he's playing the organ. And of course, they're making a show of this as a poster of him. Luna says, Red-Eye, you're the eyes of this operation. By the way, Red-Eye is rarely used. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It's always Chilla and Aloro.
Didn't we talk about this in an episode before?
It's like funny to actually see Red-Eye. And we spoke to Zach. The writers knew they had additional 20 episodes after this, but doesn't this feel so like wrapping up everything in a bow?
Between this episode and the next, I feel like
yes.
And you had said this, and Zach had said in the previous episode that they knew they had renewed ThunderCats for another season, or there was more. I don't know if it's seasons or episodes or whatever. But these two episodes could have tied up the whole series technically,
and I would have been happy.
And left it at bite your tongue. We need more episodes for this podcast.
But I'm thinking back to what the final and we're not even in the next episode, but I'm thinking of what the final episode actually is.
I don't even remember the final episode. I don't remember it.
And to me, this last
season, I am going into this last season literally blind.
That is my stick. So Bragg playing the organ, Red-Eye comes out, and Sleep gas comes out of the organ. Matter of fact, the organs bend and fly right to his face.
You remember, like in Beetlejuice, when he has the two hammers that come down and the people get. It was almost like that. It was like they didn't see these big things coming out, and the blackbird is like, or crow, whatever. He says like, notice his hands never come off the keys or something. It's like cha cha cha. It's like so ridiculous.
Merna will be singing from her farewell caboose.
He knocks them out, and then a thing picks them
so
up.
So it's Red Eye and Tugmug.
Well, here come a couple of real music lovers, Professor. Play Sleepy Time for them. That's right. Step right up, folks, and watch the Professor tickle the ivories. And no time will his fingers leave his hands.
Bragg dresses Wilykat now as a mannequin.
Oh my God.
To get a Loro.
All I kept thinking of is Richard Gere and Renee Zellweger in Chicago. Who's Fred Casely? My ex-boyfriend. How you feeling? Very frightened. Like he's pulling her back and forth on this stupid thing, like back and forth.
And you know what, though? Wilykat was given a great performance.
He had the hair for the clown
he also controlled? Did they also give him the eyes?
Yeah,
They painted his face when he wasn't even there.
But why did he need to do that at all?
No, because to me, I think he would have done that. He would have done that.
But what was the whole point of it? He had to put clown face on this cat.
Do you remember when Anna Nicole Smith, one of her last videos, was with the clown makeup on? That's what made me think of this. And she was being filmed and she had the clown makeup on.
Poor
she
Anna
was in
Nicole.
another world. But this adds also to Captain Bragg's creepiness because you can hypnotize children to sit on your lap. Bragg, you're not getting away with it that easily. I had to bring it up.
Yeah, this was a train wreck.
That's 2 down, 3 to go.
Red Eye and Tugmug have disappeared. What? Alero! Go find out what happened!
Here comes another lunatic, Wilykat. Now remember, you're a ventriloquist dummy.
Got it.
Yeah, tell me, Charlie, why does a mutant cross the road?
I don't know, Captain Bragg. Why does a mutant cross the road?
To get on the dark side. Get up here, you know.
That's amazing. Your lips don't move.
You're right, sir. Now watch this trick. While you stare at my lips...
Gotcha!
A Loro actually looks like what the F is happening. The actor. The art.
The actor formerly known as a Loro.
Loro was doing amazing. The art on a Loro's face, he's looking at the scene in front of him and saying, what in the world is happening? So he's taken, and then we are left with my favorite scene. Luna goes, Chilla! Basically, get your butt over there because you're the last one. And she goes over there and there's a stage now set up. First off, where are these things coming from? A round stage and a gigantic polar bear. And she goes, is that a real polar bear? It looks mechanical. So, how does she know?
I've been to the intergalactic Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. How does she know the difference between mechanical and a real polar bear? And he's like, oh no, it's a real polar bear. Touch it or something. And she puts her hand on it and it instantly grabs her and holds her.
Did you not think that... Well, actually, I'm going to save this for the bungle. But, well, maybe I shouldn't. I'll just bring it up now. Chilla can blow ice out of her mouth.
Yeah.
You're telling me that I would have froze that man.
Yes.
Bragg's right away, and the polar bear could have froze too. Maybe it would have shattered or something.
She was taken too much by the polar bear. She's always dreamed of seeing one in real life.
With polar bear arms.
Maybe Allura will need some help. I'll go check this circus train out.
Hey, step right up and see the amazing waltzing bear.
Is that a real polar bear?
That's right, madam. From the frozen wastes of far-off icy moon.
He looks mechanical to me.
No. Here, step up and feel its fur. You'll see it's the real thing. Go right ahead, madam. Touch him. He's tame.
Let go of me.
Koala bear? Like, what of all the things? That's what got her.
Ryan, I know that you're trying to do Chilla, but you're giving me Yancey Butler from Witchblade. Witchblade. I was going to say Switchblade from Witchblade.
If you know, you know.
Yancey Butler, we speak your name. It's been a long time.
We speak your name.
It's been a long time since Witchblade, Yancey.
But you haven't left us. So that is Chilla. That was the scene. That was everything. And I wrote Fun ThunderCats. The theme is now remixed into a circus theme. It's a ThunderCats theme. Now it is time for Luna. Luna and Amok are the only ones left. She is gotten the best.
She has done had it.
So they capture all except Luna and Amok, who free the other Lunatics and put Bragg in the cage. So, and this is when Wilykat goes, I'm going to use the invisibility oil that I bought earlier. And he drinks it thinking that he could just push open the button and release Bragg. But guess what? Luna also has Luna's teaching about the real world too. Kid, he's a con man, a liar. So, damn. You thought
you thought wrong, fool.
I know, invisible oil. Now that I'm invisible, they won't see me release the captain. But I'm invisible.
Not today, you're not.
But Captain Bragg said...
Listen, kid, Bragg is a con man. He's a liar.
But I liked him.
So, he is taken, and they tie him, much like an old cartoon, into the front of the train.
Yes,
right?
Very much would be like in front of an old locomotive train.
He's tied there, so now, Lion-O and Wilykat are in the Tower of Omens. They see the train, and they go, it's Wilykat! He's being taken on the train! I should have known those circuses were up to no good. You know, she knew that the circus were no good. So, they go after on the Thunderclaw. And Lion-O is on top of the train now, and Wilykat's driving around on the Thunderclaw. So Luna now makes Red Eye go out, and Aloro and Chilla, and one by one, Lion-O's taking on them. He takes on Red Eye, he takes on Aloro.
So Red Eye shoots like a bomb at him and uses Sword of Omens to take the bomb and reverse it and blow up Red Eye. Yes. Then Aloro comes and Aloro almost captures him, but Wilykat's like, Lion,
on her drive-by.
She does a drive-by, and her grating New York accent pulls him out of it. He's like, oh God, why do you have to talk now? I'm kidding.
She says, Lion, don't do it. Don't do it.
And so then he destroys Aloro's ball and everything, and he's like, you've destroyed my like, he's very upset.
Yeah, he's crying, like, basically. And this is why, again, you think that this is the last time we're gonna see them and the mutants, because inside Luna's like, you better go out there, Tugmug, and he won't, and she breaks his anti-gravity thing too, so he can't do that.
He's like, I will never. So Chilla goes out and he sets her on fire.
Oh my God! She goes, you're melting me. You know what, Chilla? Fire.
Well, she makes this very snarky comment. She's like, something as simple as ice will kill you. Yeah, and he's like, you know what's whatever. Like, he has a snappy comeback. I don't know the exact words, but like, you know what melts ice? Fire, and he burns her up.
Flamethrower.
Yeah, it's like,
and she screams, "You've melted me!" So this is now this first rock salt.
But the salt that he threw on her made her physically melt. Like, her body was.
This burned off her cloak and some armor.
This just like took away her power, I think, like her whole like,
and some outer levels of clothing.
Yeah,
it didn't reveal all of herself.
Yeah, we need, we have to be. This is still a PG cartoon. We can't rip all her clothes off.
Get up there and ice that ThunderCat. What could be more deadly than a simple weapon like ice?
Fire!
Lion-O blasts her with fire, and now in front of the train, Wilykat is still tied up. What happens with Luna?
So we were missing something.
Right.
Tugmug almost wants to shoot Luna because he's tired of her. Amok breaks his gravity weapon, and he now says, I will be stuck floating forever because his gravity weapon is broken. So he's stuck on the train floating up in space.
I am now stuck with Katy Perry.
Yes.
Me and
Blue.
Katy Perry.
What's the blue? What is it called? Blue?
Yeah, blue orange. I don't even know. Blue origin. Tail King and I are in space, stuck on the ceiling.
Oh my gosh. The Blue Origin? Is that what it's called?
I don't know. I just know that Wendy's and Katy Perry got into a fight. Wendy's above all. You got into a fight with the burger.
Like Tugmug's gonna be fighting on Twitter with Katy Perry.
She's not the only one who can go to zero gravity.
So God help us.
Oh my God.
Boy, we're really on point for 2025 though. If you're listening to this, you are right here with us.
Get up there and help him, cowards!
Forget it, Luna. I've had all the orders I'll ever take from you. You've ruined the gravity carbine. Now I'll be stuck like this forever.
So then Luna goes to attack Lino with Amok, but Amok gets stuck, and then you get the first and only between up a leg shot up and between Lino's legs.
What a shot. I knew you were going to notice that.
You damn right I was going to notice. That's my man.
They look up to him. They look, their heads are stuck up in the train and they look up on that.
Can I just say something? I would hope that did you see that Saturday Night Live skit when She-Ra, He-Man, and Lino come to life with Ariana Grande as She-Ra?
Weird. I think they forgot that She-Ra was her brother.
Yeah, so they try to make they're gonna fool around in a hot tub with the kids'
both
mom.
With all of them, yeah.
Because it's action figures. Lino will not look like that if he was real life. No, not my Lino. I'm just putting it out there. If anybody has,
they made him look like a clown. They made him look like an actual clown.
Yeah, they made him look like they did like with the circus.
Like Wilykat.
So SNL, if anybody hasn't seen this, there is a spoof skit where a kid wishes for his action figures to come to life. It's a Saturday Night Live skit with Ariana Grande as She-Ra.
Hey, whatever she did at the end. I'm She-Ra.
Yeah, so anyway, but that would not be how my Lino looks. I'm just saying. Anyway, between his legs, and instead of mumm-ra upskirt, you see up Lino's legs and through his legs. Thank you.
So then he has to rescue Wilykat. And he is tied, like we said, in the front of the train. He says, thunder, thunder, thundercats, ho! And the train is magically stopped with the Sword of Omens, thank God, before crashing or whatnot.
Help! Help! Someone please help me!
I've got you. Thunder! 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 Thundercats!
We get this amazing wrap-up where the mutants and the lunatics are all captured and supposedly exiled. And David, does this man say that they're going to learn basket making or computers?
Something like that. He's like...
Computers?
So here's the thing. They're going to work for Amazon Global. They're going to work on... Well, back then it would have been like Dell. But they're going to work on Amazon Global to take a refund. I did not get my order from Amazon Prime in 2 days.
Oh my God, Vultureman has to be in the chat. Ow! These bad people.
What if I take my club and we will refund you the $5, give you a $5 gift card. Thank you for choosing Amazon.
Send evidence.
But basically, they're going to be like,
but you're missing a part of this. Lino says to him, "There's a few things. Apparently, Captain Bragg's because of the fact that Wilykat trusted him,
and
he believe that he was going to become invisible, it actually hurt him. It made him feel bad that he had such trust in him that even though he hypnotized him and kidnapped him, basically, catnapped him, basically.
Painted his face.
Yeah, like did all these bizarre things. He felt guilty because he trusted him so much. And he even apologized. He said he only came with me because we hypnotized him. He said he's going to turn over a new leaf, which leads me to believe, what really was the reward? What was he trying to do? Was this like some sort of like organ harvest thing? Like he was going to like what was this that they were going to actually do with these?
The circus train comes in and organs disappear, Lion-O.
Like I don't get what really was going to go on, because he's like, no, instead of doing what I was going to do to them, I'm going to rehabilitate them in their yard. They're going to learn macrame.
Baskets and
they're going to learn basket weaving, macrame, and I'm going to teach them to do graphic design. How about that?
I actually wish we actually had them. We saw them doing this. I actually wish, because I think the comedy would have been gold.
I caused you a lot of trouble, Lion-O. I'm really sorry.
That wasn't your fault, boy. I hypnotized him, you see.
Well, he couldn't help it.
He did do wrong, Lion-O, but at least there's no harm done. And they did capture all the mutants and all the lunatics.
We need to talk about those prisoners.
Yeah, I know you're wondering if you can trust me with these creatures. But you needn't worry, young man. I've decided to turn over a new leaf.
A reformed character.
I'll take good care of them. I'll teach them table manners and a useful skill.
Well, either basket weaving or computer operation. We're not certain which.
Then you'd better get going, Captain. But remember, we'll be checking up on you from time to time.
Goodbye, young Wilykat. I'm sorry I got you into trouble.
Oh, that's okay, Captain Bragg. I had a lot of fun, but I'll never try to run off with a circus again.
David, could it, because we didn't even mention, there are shadowy figures in his train of villains from all over the galaxy, right? Mm-hmm. The train is filled. We just haven't seen it. So does he collect these people to really work for him? Like slave labor? Or does he get the rewards? Maybe he actually does take these rewards.
Should we talk about this episode? Because we're going to talk about Bungler, but can we talk about a little, because I know a lot of people do not like this episode, and I can understand why in many ways.
And by the way, the ThunderCats Wikipedia, strangely enough, for this episode and the last day has nothing. No trivia, barely has a synopsis. That's just here or there. There's no trivia really to this or anything, but I gotta tell you.
You enjoyed it because of the polar bear, let's be honest.
Well, the polar bear won my heart. The concept is crazy, yes, and everything else, but at this point, we've seen so many things in ThunderCats that didn't make sense that this is like another.
It was very, I don't know. Should we wait to the bungle to kind of unwrap it?
I guess, but
let's go to the next one.
But we do have to do the host scale for this episode. So on the host scale, out of 5, what are you going to give this?
I'm going to give it...
I didn't hate it, honestly. I know Bunglers might be upset to hear that.
I'm going to be honest with you. The only thing that there's a few things that really saved it for me. I did not like the circus concept. I was annoyed by the fact that this powerless...
This drifter.
Charlatan that had no ability was able to trap all these very powerful villains. And I have to say, I was going to bring this in the bungle, but I might as well say it now. What is so amazing about these circus cages that they can't blast out? Chilla couldn't use her power to bend the bars, freeze the bars, broke the bars. That Tug Mug wasn't with his... He snapped the Sword of Omens. You're telling me the bars couldn't be bent?
But he's stuck to the ceiling, I guess.
Still, they could have pushed him against the things.
I think what they did was try to break all of their powers before, and in firing and flaming. Maybe she takes a while for Chilla to recover.
Maybe, but I just felt like
it was set up too conveniently for them to, not being able to.
So I feel like unless the bars were enchanted or the things were made of a certain type of metal that nothing could break, how difficult. So that was the one thing I really kind of didn't. I didn't hate the episode at all. What saved it for me was them still being in the shack, which I thought was hysterical because I wanted to. As soon as I saw her sticking her head out the shack window, I just got hysterical laughing because I thought that was the stupidest, funniest thing that how the mighty have fallen. I was hysterical.
But David, don't you think this is how we would write villains? If someone gave us a series, I feel like we would make our villains funny like this. And I appreciate when you could do things like Chilla just looking out the window like,
I definitely like the comic relief, but you know how I am, Ryan.
Well, I would
have the characters killed
before they could do some funny things and then die.
Hold Mumm-ra down and decapitate him.
We heard from the Hachiman's goodbye episode. We know the whole story now. Kajaga and David are on the outs at the moment. So I'm going right down the middle.
A 3? A 2.5?
2.8.
I'm going to give it a 2.5, ho. Only because I didn't hate it. There are a lot of like things that I think were a little bit... I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Very bizarre. So I kind of liked it because it was bizarre in many ways. But there's a lot of things that I want to say when we talk about the bungling part that I'll kind of nail the nails in the coffin with that one. So let's just leave it at that, and we'll talk about it later. I mean, and also between Lion-O's legs, I'll be honest with you, I should actually give it a higher score. So
3.5.
Yeah. But anyway, let's go. Last day.
Let's go to the last day because I'm sure we have a lot to say.
Attention ThunderCats fans, prepare for the ultimate thrill with Hall of Omens, the unofficial ultimate guide to ThunderCats toys and beyond. Embark on a global journey to unearth rare ThunderCats figures from every corner of the world. Read the untold stories from brilliant minds behind the iconic ThunderCats franchise, like Larry Kenny, Peter Lawrence, Jim Meskimen, and many more. Explore over 220 pages containing 2,000 plus captivating photos and uncover all the secrets of the ThunderCats toys. Become the ultimate ThunderCats expert and secure your copy of Hall of Omens, the unofficial ultimate guide to ThunderCats toys and beyond today at ThunderCatsToyGuide.com. ThunderCats, ho!
This is the last day, September 30th of 1988, supposedly. Season 3, episode 110. Fed up with Mumm-ra's failures, the ancient spirits of evil give him one final day to rid Third Earth of the ThunderCats. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, so we have been talking about for years. Ancient spirits of evil are going to get fed up. We started seeing it recently. They started talking, and we have finally reached the pinnacle of, oh no. What was it about today? What was it about the air? Was there something in the air in Third Earth today that the ancient spirits were like, oh no, Mumm-ra, we're giving you to sundown?
Well, they were talking, as people, as ancient spirits often do. They were talking, and they were saying, now, how many times have we... check. We give him
Add it
this.
up.
Check.
Add it up. They're writing it down.
This. Check. We've given him this. He was on another planet. This.
The Mumm-raft.
They went through all these different things. We've given him super. He became Hunk-ra, according to Mitesh.
Shout out Mitesh.
Shout out Mitesh. We've given him this. He's had the sword how many times? He's captured the ThunderCats how many times? He got the lunatics. He went through. He had... what did he say?
How many times did he dress up as a woman? Put it down.
How many times how many wigs did we have to buy? How much MAC makeup did we have to purchase for him to do the transfer?
How many silk wigs did we have to go through?
How many lace front wigs did we have to buy for him to transform to women? This is an expense.
They went through the whole thing. They said we've never financially recovered from the Nether Witch house setup that you made us buy and make a whole persona for you, Mumm-ra.
So they've had it. They sasaid this is financially does not make sense
for us. The HOA is taking back their powers? They're throwing him out?
The HOA is like, remember when we wanted to have no on-street parking? He let that pass.
The Thunder Tank has been parked out there. outside
overnight. Overnight, without you're not supposed to let anybody park overnight on the streets according to the CCNRs of the HOA. How dare you? You're supposed to send Jackal Man around with to write a ticket and put it on the Thunder tank. Citations at night. You haven't sent them out. That's it. They get pissed.
Oh my god! Matter of fact, they bought him new boots with the fur, Jackal Man. Two roundup.
They're done.
We bought new boots for Jackal Man, and you still.
So, in all honesty, the evil spirits have had it with Mumm-ra.
Because they mention now that there's no more mutants and there's no more lunatics, and Mumm-ra says, "Worthless idiots."
You have had many years to rid Third Earth of the ThunderCats. And year after year you have failed. And now you've even managed to lose your allies in evil. The lunatics and the mutants.
Worthless idiots! They deserve to spend the rest of their days in exile.
Silence! You are on your own now, mumm-ra. And we, the ancient spirits of evil, give you until sundown to defeat the ThunderCats. For today will be your last day on Third Earth.
My last day? But that's impossible.
Impossible, you say? Watch this.
They say to him, "You let them be taken." Right?
Maybe I did. That's what I would have said.
So in other words, they're
blaming
him for not stepping in when they were taken. Now, was that because he was sleeping? Or he didn't care?
Probably.
Or he didn't care?
I don't think so, because he needs underlings.
Because the viewing pool was off.
Yeah, I would have said, "Ancient spirits, I was sleeping that day." If you would have told me.
If you would have given me a little more power.
Oh, well, that. He says something at one point, it's impossible for some reason. Impossible. Whitney Houston. For a plain white Dana to become a Dana.
I was thinking, ask a baby not to cry, it's just impossible.
We have got a lot of impossibles here.
Or, my favorite, Impossible.
Oh, that song, Impossible. The Ancient Spirits of Panthro. Another classic.
They're pissed. They're very angry.
They turn their heads and say, "Oh, watch this!"
You have been warned, mumm-ra. You have until sundown to rid this world of those wretched ThunderCats.
You have spoken, evil ones, and I will obey. And if I cannot destroy the ThunderCats and rule Third Earth in perfect evil, then no one shall.
They blast Mumm-ra and put him into a tile, which also happens later on.
They Superman villain him. This is Superman. What is 1980?
Oh,
this is
God. General
Zod. And the three bad
people
from Superman, 1980-ish? 81, 80?
Is it 2 or 3?
It's three. It's 2 men and a woman. General Zod.
You know when they come down in their outfits?
They're like in a glass tile. They're in a glass tile. And they're going to the Phantom Zone. I remember this. So the ancient spirits of evil glass mirror tile him into the Phantom Zone. Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Mumm-ra." So that really gives him.
They tell him he has until sundown to get rid of all of the ThunderCats. They say this: you have had years. So the ThunderCats have been around for quite a while now. You have had years to get rid of the ThunderCats. years.
And that's when he says, impossible. So, with super strength, they come off once again off those pedestals.
So is this a combination? Because there's the wind. He does the ancient spirits of evil. He calls upon them. The wind blows into the tomb and blows past him. And then they touch him. They come off the pedestals. They do the hand thing. And then
they collapse the pyramid as he leaves.
Everything is destroyed.
That's why I know, again, going back to our conversation with Zach, they knew that they had 20 more episodes left on this order. Do you think there was a possibility they were thinking about maybe mumm-ra actually not... I mean, I don't know when things were written, but it seems too good to me that they're literally even collapsing the pyramid at this point. It's collapsed. It's gone.
I mean, in all honesty, this would have been a very neat tie-up for the whole series. You got rid of the mutants and the lunatics. Third Earth essentially has created its own governing body. You have a alliance you have a council with all these different types of people from all these different tribes and worlds, so to speak, that live on Third Earth that have come together. The Burbles with the warrior maidens, with the unicorn keepers, with the Wolos, with the this, with the that. They've all kind of come together under the flag of the ThunderCats, have joined them together in friendship and understanding, and they are cohabitating, mingling, and they are supporting one another. So they have basically brought Third Earth together, and all of the evil is gone. Essentially, the only thing that other than the scary things that are actually on Third Earth, the unnatural, natural stuff like the living ooze and the crazy stuff that's
Matter of fact, did you notice at one point when, and this is it's like a second, but Panthro and Lino were driving around, and they even have like ghostly cans try to grab the Thunder Tank because it's just part of the world.
They're like, oh, it's just the deadly arms, the shadow creatures that are just trying to grab us. So you have that. So this would have been this would have definitely been.
But even the fact that they're mentioning all of Third Earth, to me, that is series finale. They mentioned the warrior maidens are being attacked. The Burbles, there's earthquakes happening, affecting all over Third Earth. We see the Burbles, we see the warrior maidens, we see Hook Mountain. And I want to say Panthro says it's like Thundera all again, or is that Lion-O?
No, I think it's Panthro at the controls.
What's happening? An earthquake!
Hang on!
Lion-O, the Tower of Omens has just been hit by an earthquake.
We felt it here, too. What's your status?
No serious damage, but according to our monitors, earthquakes and volcanoes are breaking out all over the planet.
Feliner to Cat's lair.
I'm afraid we've got more bad news, Lionel.
We've just completed a computer simulation of what will happen if those geological disturbances continue.
Total destruction of Third Earth in less than 12 hours.
By Jarga, it's exactly like the catastrophe which destroyed Thundera.
Feliner going to full burn. We'll try to reach you before sundown.
Thanks, Bengali. I know you'll do all you can.
We'll never make it back in time to rescue them.
We have to try.
So, guess what? The feliner just so happens to be flying around space today. Mumm-ra, I think she might have gotten an alert. Mumm-ra's like, you know what? I think the planet's going to just be destroyed again. And
Mumm-ra's like, finally, poetic justice. I hope those Burbles still have a ship for you, Lion-O. Because this Mumm-ra, this Puma is not going to get trapped on a dying planet again.
You thought I didn't know, but Linkso felt a disturbance in the Force.
She's like, we're not going to make it in time, so I think there's a really cute little planet over there that we can pick up some extra supplies.
It's happening, Lion-O.
You're not leaving me behind again. Maybe we just won't get there in time.
Mumm-ra, you put your foot pedal to the metal. Oh yeah,
she's like,
Linkso, I am driving.
This?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you hear this, old man?
She's pumping it up and down, and Bengali's like, oh, I don't even think she's moving it. In all actuality, they have been on New Thundera, and they're evidently flying back.
And there's a conversation, we're not going to make it in time, and I think it's Snarfer that says it. We're not going to make it in time.
Yes, Snarfer is in there.
And Linkso says, well, we have to try.
Yes. Mumm-ra's like, yes. Mm-hmm.
She's like, yes, but if we don't,
I will be the new Chitara.
I did store a few extra things in the back that I took.
I cleaned out the Tower Omen, so don't even worry, it gets sliced. So, no, really, actually, that adds to the pace of this, too, because help is not coming at
There was
moment.
a dire, but now
Yes.
here's the thing. If you knew the planet was going to break apart and you didn't have any means of trying to find it, wouldn't you have reached out to like Mandora or somebody else to try to...
They never use Mandora in her space for travel. I don't know. Maybe she goes really intergalactic, that she goes into dimensions she can't even be reached.
Mumm-ra?
David, Mumm-ra would have been such a smart way to tie up Third Earth as well. Mumm-ra's on the battlefront over there, or something like Mumm-ra is helping the Burbles keep the Burble village together. Yes.
Couldn't have Mumm-ra called on the powers of good to give her super Mumm-ra power?
She probably would have been screaming too. I can't. They split up. Snarf and the Thunder Kittens. Thunder Kittens go to the Tower of Omens. Snarf goes to Cat's Lair. Tigra and Chitara go north. Panthro and Lionel go south. This is the Scooby-Doo treatment. We always know that Panthro and Lionel are going together, and we always know that Tigra and Chitara are going together, and the Kitten Cat are going to be thrown at...
Get your hands off of my man, Panthro.
Volcanoes are setting off fires in the treetop kingdom. And those earthquakes, they're causing a flood of the Burble village and avalanches on Hook Mountain. All our friends' homes will be destroyed if something isn't done, and done fast.
How does it look, Panthro?
These are not regular, ordinary earthquakes. Something or someone is causing them.
Since the mutants and the lunatics are in exile, it can only be Mumm-ra. But where on Third Earth is he?
Where? How do we find out?
We'll split up to cover as much ground as possible, as quickly as possible. Snarp, you and the Thunder Kittens will man Cat's Lair and the Tower of Omens, while Chitara and Tigra search north, and Panthro and I go south.
What we come up to is Tigra and Chitara first come upon. Mumm-ra's walking around. Mumm-ra, I guess, is on the move.
King Kong Mumm-ra. I put King Kong Mumm-ra.
And we do get Mumm-ra feet, like gigantic Mumm-ra feet. So if the stench was there originally, it's magnified. We've talked about this. The funk of 40,000 years. It's coming out in this very moment. That's a matter of fact how they knew something was up. It smells like death out there. It's like Willa.
The foulest stench is in the air. The funk of 40,000 years.
Giant Mumm-ra, he says, "Welcome to Doomsday," because, by the way, Mumm-ra's voice in this form, he's got a little, I want to say it right, vibrato, whatever that is.
Vibrato.
He's got that to his voice. He says, "Welcome to Doomsday."
I am your host. Welcome to Fright Night, for real.
Holy Thundera, look!
Mumm-ra, bigger and uglier than ever.
Welcome, ThunderCats. Welcome to Doomsday. For I have used every ounce of my malevolent magic to attain an evil strength the likes of which has never been seen on Circus.
Tigra instantly goes invisible, whips him, and is evaporated into nothing.
He's like, surrender. He says surrender, or does he say surrender or die, basically?
And let me tell you, he died. I'm assuming this is they mentioned it's the astral level. I'm thinking it's the dead level. We died.
And Chitara goes for him. She shoots at him. She tries to hit him with the staff.
At least, though, that she literally gets at least not the first shot. Thank you for not doing Chitara dirty like that. She blasts him. She actually does. And then, Chitara, you were taken, girl. You were taken, too.
Tigra!
Care to join your friend, Chitara?
The Sword of Omens actually goes off. Thank you. And they said, Lionel and Panthro, like, they're gonna need help. So they're driving over towards them. Tigra, Chitara disappear. Now, the Thunder Tank is coming up to gigantic Hunkra, and Panthro's like, use the gun? To me?
That doesn't even work normally.
No, David, exactly. What? Just instantly, I would have been like, Sword of Omens. He's like, try this. Well, let me tell you, it does nothing. And it looks like the tank is destroyed. I know it's not, because I think it ends up on...
I thought he blew up the tank. I personally thought it was like mass destroy. Like, he thoroughly damaged the tank, if not destroyed it.
They go flying separately. Panthro goes this way, Lion-O goes that way. So now Lion-O's on the ground, and I love this. Again, is this not series finale? Panthro jumps in front of a blow and gets disintegrated, basically, to protect
Lion-O was trying to do Thundercats Ho, which is now his new go-to for everything, not just
thank God. Honestly, thank God.
To stop ships, to open up a can, to...
it takes a while, like, we do see the attack in real time, thunder, but that third thunder, by the time he got to that third thunder, was not enough time.
Your puny powers are no match for me.
Thunder! 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 Watch out!
So Panther does take the blow and is evaporated, essentially.
And Mumm-ra says to Lion-O, I will bury you alive in a stone prison. I can't do vibrato, Mumm-ra, unfortunately.
Vibrato,
Mumm-ra. Lion-O does the Sword of Omens into... Is he inside of a ball?
Yes.
Does he do a protective bubble?
Yes, Glinda.
So he's inside of a protective bubble, and is this what Mumm-ra did to the Lunatics? Didn't he put them in stone too? So he...
With lava, yes.
Covers him into this stone lava thing, burying him underground, he thinks, and he heads to the Tower of Omens.
Goodbye, Tower of Omens!
He literally slices, David, the tower. It's gone. We always said the Tower of Omens really has no defenses or anything, but...
Yeah.
And that's when Pumira's up there going, see? They wanted us to die. We would have been in there.
They had us in a toothpick with a logo on top of it.
With a light calling everybody.
This isn't Seattle. This isn't...
The Thunder Kittens try to escape on the boards. Let me tell you, they get a little far out, and it ain't far enough because they are zapped.
And then in the meantime, you have communication, Snarf communicating with the feliner.
Which looks like it's passing by Saturn. Do you see that?
Yeah.
The rings of Saturn.
Third Earth, first Earth, second Earth. So anyway, dinosaurs, humans, Thundercats. Those are the Earth.
They just discovered the set of Snarf bones, I heard, in Antarctica.
Yeah, probably. We're able to get the embryo, a full embryo of a Snarf, and we're going to bring it back to life. Welcome to Jurassic World.
Oh my God.
If you could bring Lion-O back, I might have to go interspecies.
That might have to be terrifying, though. That might be a terrifying...
Yeah, he might go crazy.
Because they'll crossbreed it with a lion, probably. Ooh.
Yeah, it might be too crazy.
Oh my God, it would be like the Like a Virgin video with... Is it Like a Virgin with Madonna when she's in that gondola? Is that the one?
Yes, it is.
When she's got that that always freaked me out, that tiger man.
Yeah, it was a little, because it's kind of like bizarre.
Again, I gotta tell you, this builds the tension so the SOS that Snarf is like, the tower's destroyed, everyone is gone. Tigra, Panthro, Chitara are all destroyed.
He goes, the Wilykat and Wilykat are on the way to the cat's lair, but I don't think they're going to make it.
Yeah, it basically says they're going to die.
Yeah.
And Linkso's like, you're a Thundercat, Snarf!
And even though I'm miles away and we will not die when the planet goes, you will do what you are told.
Cat's lair to Feliner. Come in, Feliner, please.
Feliner responding. Give us a report.
It's a disaster. Lion-O, Panthro, and Chitara have disappeared, and the Tower of Omens has been destroyed. And the Thunder Kittens are on their way here with Mumm-ra right behind them. I don't think they'll make it to Cat's lair before...
Pull yourself together, Snarf. You're a Thundercat.
Right. But Linkso, what am I going to do?
I have an idea. Do you remember how you and Lion-O were trapped in the Book of Omens?
Do I remember? How could I ever forget? It was the most terrifying experience of my life.
Do you have the key?
There's just a chance, a slim chance, that you might be able to get back into the book.
Get back into the book?
Go to the sword chamber, get the key of Thundera and the thunderscope. Use the thunderscope just like you used the eye of Thundera to get into the book.
Oh, Linkso, do I have to? And what do I do once I'm in there?
Once you're inside, show the Guardian of the Book of Omens that you have the key of Thundera, and ask him how we can defeat mumm-ra.
But what happens if he doesn't know?
The Book of Omens holds all the ThunderCats' secrets. The Guardian must know.
Oh, yeah. But if he doesn't know, I'll be stuck in the book forever.
More to the point, Snarf, is what happens if you don't get into the book.
Third Earth will be destroyed, and the ThunderCats with it. I'll do it!
You're a ThunderCat, and he's like, great! But this is so
wisdom,
smart.
And determination. Wisdom, determination. That's it. Wisdom, determination. There is nothing else that saved this whole...
This is a long shot that this even works, and it works. So Linkso says he has an idea. Do you remember the Book of Omens? And Snarf is like, oh my god, P.F. Chang.
He's like, I didn't even get to eat. I didn't even get a fortune cookie at the end of the meal.
So he's like, you remember this Book of Omens? What if you use the thunderscope? Because if you remember, you needed the Eye of Thundera. So you're using the thunderscope as the Eye of Thundera, basically, as a substitute.
And you have the key.
You have the key this time. Bring the key. So Snarf, though, says, but what if he doesn't know how to stop Mumm-ra? Because he's like, you're going to ask him how to stop Mumm-ra. And honestly, genius, because it would have been the Bungler if Snarf didn't say this. And what if he doesn't know how to stop Mumm-ra? Because I was like, yes, Snarf. And he's like, no, the Book of Shadows. The Book of Omens knows everything. The Guardian.
He basically said it has all of the ThunderCats' knowledge, so...
And it knows about Mumm-ra's secret, his dear diary moments. When he confides in his diary, it knows Snarf. And shout out to Zach. He did tell us the next time that we see all the treasures that they were all going to be there, including the one that we saw sinking under. Snarf says, I am taking everything. He brings his ThunderCat duffel bag. I love this so much. He brings every treasure of Thundera.
I don't like this at all. But if I'm going inside that blasted book, I'm going to take all the treasure with me. Maybe it'll help me get back.
He ends up taking the thunderscope, gets sucked into the book. Did you notice the Guardian was a little calm today? He wasn't like instantly, do you have the key?
Oh, you again?
Yeah, basically it wasn't like do you have the key? He kind of was just like, well, what are you doing here? And Snarf dumps this crap on the floor.
He says, not only do I have the key, but I got this, and every other treasure.
And then he dumps it, and he's just like, look at gold, diamonds, here.
I even took all of Chitara's gold, and if you're not happy with that, then that's too damn bad.
Oh my god, that was what poured out the rest of it. He's like, this duffel bag was from Chitara's room.
I even took extra stuff.
Oh my god, she's had it hiding in that bag. I went to Chitara's closet. Underneath her leotards and her cape was a duffel bag. And he sits and crosses his legs like, here, do something. Do something.
Announce yourself. Who are you, and what are you doing here?
I'm Snarf, loyal servant and friend of Lion-O, Lord of the ThunderCats.
Do you have the key?
I got the key, the bracelet of power, the jade dragon. Sorry it's broken. The chain of loyalty, the mirror of truth, and all the rest of the stuff. And if that's not enough for you to tell us how to defeat mumm-ra, then I don't know what is.
In the meantime, Jaga, who might be having some issues right now with David, he just beheaded the circus workers. So Jaga goes into limbo where Kit and Kat are like, oh, and they run into Chitara.
And clearly they are dead because limbo or whatever is where Jaga is because he's
I don't like
dead.
this though. You still can't see me because you're not worthy still, even though you're dead. Like, he even says, like, you still
maybe he didn't want to freak them out.
I think that would have been a friendly face.
Or maybe Jaga is only linked to Lion-O as the Lord of the Thundercats through the Sword of Omens. Like,
only you see me. Only you get to see this.
Maybe that's his gift. Like, that's his entitlement, because they can sense his presence. Because they can sense his presence.
Yes, they sense. I'm surprised Chitara didn't say, "I smell that cape."
She said she says she feels the presence of something. So
I smell Febreze, and that means Jaga.
Where am I? Wilykat! Chitara! What is this place? How will we get out of here?
I don't know, but I sense a friend is near, and he will help us.
You cannot see or hear me, Thundercats, but you must not lose hope. There may still be a way to free you from this place.
Jaga, you've come to help.
Not just me, Lion-O. They cannot see or hear us, Lion-O. They are trapped in limbo.
Tell me what to do, Jaga.
I will enter the Eye of Thundera, Lion-O, and I will take the other Thundercats with me. The strength of all the Thundercats will combine within the Eye of Thundera. That may give the Sword of Omens the force you need to break out of this rocky prison.
Then by all the powers of Thundera, let's do it.
He's like, I'm here with you, and he goes, I'm going to... So he takes them into his ghostly cape, and he teleports to Lion-O, who's buried alive. Actually, I love this. Again, Charmed. I love when Sailor Moon. You were taking all of the powers of every Mars, Mercury, Jupiter inside of the rod. And actually, I got chills, Dave. Like, not like, oh, but this is a cool moment. Like, I love this because it actually shows that, was it, Lion-O's strength? Was it Sundown, or was it the whole combination of all the Thundercats' powers?
I always, when Jaga comes along and these bad things happen, whatever, as much as I laugh, I always get a little like misty-eyed, because I guess my tie to Thundercats has always been like the fact that Lion-O had to grow up before his time, that he is an orphan, that he is put in a situation where he, again, has to grow up very fast. That very much relates to me in many ways, but it also how, and we've talked about this, and how, eventually we're going to do Gem, and how even Gem, like the fact that Gem has foster children, and she has a school which, she, like, that definitely paved a way for me in a way to open my eyes to adopting children and fostering children and adopting my own children. So it kind of touches me. I know that sounds like kind of silly, but I always get a little misty, like in these moments where these beloved characters, because I assume they're dead at this point. He evaporated them. He didn't just send them. They were like gray. They were in shadow. They were gray.
But also it reminded me of that recent Power Rangers 30th anniversary special where they had Trini jump in front of a blow to save Billy. These people are just so selfless, but dead for sure.
So it kind of, it definitely hit me in that way.
It was beautiful. And again, if you think about this as like wrapping up their adventures. So giant mumm-ra feet still on the move. Lion-O gets to the scene and he's like, oh, you got out. But still, this is it. He is done. You are done, Lion-O. I got the Sword of Plundar. I'm spinning it like I've never spun it before. I am giant.
How in the name of everything evil did you escape?
Snark, listen to me, Lion-O. The guardian of the Book of Omens told me that mumm-ra's super strength will only last till sunset. If he has not destroyed the Thundercats by then, the ancient spirits of evil will punish him. If you survive until the end of the day, then it will be the end of mumm-ra.
My time may be limited, Thundercats, but your time is up!
All of a sudden, Sorceress Snarf comes into the sword, David. And he's like, Mumm-ra's power. But why is it like this? Why is the sword going in and out like almost like it? He's like, Mumm-ra's powers will only last till like what? He's like a ghostly plan. Mumm-ra's powers will only last to sundown, Lion-O.
Now, wouldn't you I would have ran away.
Honestly, all he had to do, I mean, we do see the sun in the background is going down slowly, right? We're seeing it go down. And as it is, Mumm-ra is shrinking. And he's getting smaller and smaller.
Shrinkage is a problem for some people.
He's getting smaller and smaller.
Shrinkage is a problem for some men.
Mumm-ra over here snarks.
It's getting cold. It's getting cold outside.
He's like, no, I just married. So he overhears Snarf and he's like, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to get you before sundown. So it don't even matter. All of a sudden, the ancient spirits of evil, he's in the middle of this battle, David. I'm sorry. I know you're trying to motivate him, but couldn't you just give him a few more minutes? He could have, maybe he could have killed Lion-O.
It's like they're setting him up to fail because they should have given him his full power unless they can't maintain it until the end, like very end, like boom, you're done.
True, but at that point, if you are so close, if you're closer than ever, literally, he's killed all the other Thundercats at this point, besides our friends that arrived just in time, by the way, right when everything's over. So the ancient spirits of evil appear in the sky in a ghostly plane, and they're like, "Oh no, Mumm-ra, it's time! It's time!" Mariah Carey.
You have failed, Mumm-ra, and now you must pay the price!
Ancient spirits of evil, is this the end of Mumm-ra?
Thunder! 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 Thundercats!
He starts to crack. It starts to crack. The Botox has lifted from Hunkra. And he shrivels down to Mumm-ra the mummy form. And he is put in a floor tile as well. He spins around and he's like,
Ancient spirits of evil, is it the end of Mumm-ra?
Disappears
into the shadow realm or whatever you want.
The tile floats away.
The Phantom Zone.
Jaga appears, I want to say, to Lion-O and releases the Thundercats.
No, I think he does the thunder. Does he do thunder?
Yes, you're right. He does thunder and
the
it
Thundercats
releases.
Come out of
they come out like almost like when they were in the little jars. You remember the little Mumm-ra jaws, the Sleep Master Mumm-ra jaws? They come out, they fly, and they appear. This is though, it kills me because the feline are literally at the same moment. They couldn't have timed that better if Pumira didn't do it.
Pumira's like, looks like that everything's kind of settled down on the planet. So we'll be touching down. Your flight will be we'll be making our final descent to Third Earth in exactly 10 minutes. Please put your seats in the upright position.
Oh my god. Linkso's like, I have a feeling Pumira timed this well.
Linkso has turned on the seatbelt signs. Please sit back.
Oh my god. And Big Golly's just happy to be home with his love, right?
For his hammer.
They're released. And the Thundercats embrace. The recently alive Thundercats all run to Lion-O. The feliner touches down. And Lion-O says that Third Earth is now safe of evil. And it's time that they get back home, basically.
Thanks, Snarf. Without your help, I would never have been able to beat Mumm-ra.
Well, yeah. Golly, I was just doing my part as a Thundercat.
Thundercats, this is a happy day. Mumm-ra, the mutants, and the lunatics have all been banished from Third Earth. Third Earth is finally safe for all our friends. So now it is time for the Thundercats to return to New Thundera and rebuild our home planet. Thundercats! Ho!
Thundercats!
that would basically be the end of the series.
And I would say if this did end it, give us a 5-part movie like they love to do, which we are getting next anyway. And then that's it, wrap up the series. I'm glad it didn't, but if that's how it happened, this would have been the perfect way to wrap it up. Because it left open the adventure could still continue, like you always like to say. But at the same time, we saved Third Earth. We mentioned the Warrior Maidens. We mentioned this when we mentioned the Burbles. You saw all of Third Earth. They mentioned this forest. They literally name drop parts of Third Earth too. Like they're summarizing, destroying the tower.
And now it's time to put quick drying cement into the living ooze.
My God. And be done with it.
It's time to freeze the inflamer.
Oh, well, the inflamer might not be flaming anymore at the moment either if he wasn't draped in diamonds.
Conversion camp. It's time to take the diamonds out of the driller.
And it's time to get going. So, as of now, we have a whole summer to go before we see what happens next in our 5-part adventure.
I can't believe it. You just gave me a little bit of anxiety. What are we going to do? What are our bunglers going to do?
Well, bunglers, this is the perfect time to leave us an amazing review.
Ryan is asking for Apple currently.
Apple. We did. I think we all of a sudden overnight I asked on Instagram and we got 2 more, not written reviews, but we got 2 more apples, 5 stars. So, hey, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a feeling one of them might have been Alan. So thank you, Mr. Alan Grant. Okay, so we have to give this a whole grade. Now, I want to give it a perfect 5 because I know all of our bunglers love it. If we do this based on like detracting because of continuity, can't say that. Okay. It had good continuity. If we're saying like like mumm-ra being fierce, he was fierce up until the end. It's not like he stopped. It's not like he stopped being like on the attack. He continued.
The animation was really good. There were very good
Mumm-ra looked fantastic.
There were a lot of really great parts of the animation where there was really great animation. So that's 3.
We got to see all of our ThunderCats and Snarfer too. So I mean, we got Mumm-ra, but like we actually got every ThunderCat.
You technically got an ending. This could have ended the series and on a happy note and left it open. So that's another point. Full battle, fierce battle.
Yeah, I can't think. I mean, Jaga.
As Aretha would say, gorgeous gowns.
Okay, great gowns, beautiful gowns.
Beautiful gowns. You know what? Why not 5? 5 hoes, because it would have been a great series finale if it was. Of course, I would have maybe added, like, at the end, like, a festival or something, like, you know, like, the coming together, like, the anointment trial. But other than that, 5. You've convinced me.
I'm convinced. I'm going to give it a 5, but I'm going to tell you that I have about 5 bungles.
There you go, because I need them, because I'm not sure.
I'm giving you bungles galore, so this is going to be, this is a 5 ho. I know you think there's only one ho, me, the head ho.
But there's been 5. There were 5
we're giving this, we're giving this the full on ho. This is the first and only in ThunderCat podcast history.
A 5 ho production. David says he's got them. Who are our biggest bunglers today?
Once again. You have failed. You are a worthless, bungling idiots. Bunglers. You bungler. You bungled the job again. You bungled it. Delightful.
So let's go back to the circus train.
That circus train. I'm going to give it to... the fact that the writers allowed this bounty hunter, Mr. Bragg, to literally take every villain down, basically almost by himself, in a circus train, using a fake female mutant.
That's
my bungle. That is my bungle.
Sometimes the basic stuff is the easiest.
I guess. But my God. Like,
they're lonely. They've been on the planet for how long?
And the fact that Vulture-Man did say, they just walked into that cage.
That's why Vulture-Man didn't want to go, because he's not interested in
we know.
The marvelous Merna. He wants the marvelous Martin.
I am the marvelous Merna.
Oh my God, could you imagine? It was me the whole time. I like the fact that the mutants and Lunatics got taken away like savages that they are in cages. Love that part of it. I don't think the character was very strong. I feel like Safari Joe would have been Like, if he was more like a Safari Joe, because Safari Joe is, like, brutal and nasty.
Or what about the guy who, I only know how to fight?
Yeah. And initially, I said the Bunglers were the mutants and the Lunatics for not putting up a bigger fight and not being smart enough to realize that if the mutants were already captured, why would you keep sending people if you weren't sure what was going on? And this man so easily captured everybody. So that, I feel like, and they didn't even bring weapons.
Vulture Man should have brought a gun or some kind of laser.
Something. So I feel like the villains were the Bunglers in the sense of underestimating this weird little dude, you know.
I underestimated him too, David. So
it was kind of a mess. It was a mess.
And if it was the second to last episode of ThunderCats, it would have been like, oh, but it got rid of them.
I think this whole character and everything was based off of clippings and pieces from before. There is this
elements of
Safari Joe and Circus and Cages from Mindora with the other thing and all these different kind of pieces of little things here and there. I did like the Mary Poppins umbrella. I thought was funny. I did think the marvelous Merna was hysterical on her farewell tour with Cher, who's still around apparently, probably.
1,000%. She's actually on her 85th probably farewell.
I love that the Captain Cracker Joe's Crab Shack, but I have to say I feel like the mutants in general and the Lunatics for being so silly about, but like the bizarreness of him being a puppet and turning him into a thing. It was just so the Bungle was maybe a little bit of the writer, but mostly if you're just going by purely from the cartoon itself or for me it was the villains not
putting up an actual fight.
Yeah, it was like
You're right.
And I will mention another thing. A Bungle, not really a Bungle, but a Bungle for so many episodes before. Why didn't Lion-O, when he had the opportunity, destroy Aloro's ball and weapon?
I thought he
a million
destroyed
times
that ball
over.
once before, and then it came back, I think.
Oh, so maybe he did, but I don't remember that. But so that's it. That's for me. I have more Bungles for the episode that we gave 5. Which is funny.
Let's go, because I agree. I think, yes. Maybe my bungle being that they were easily captured was the whole thing too, that they didn't put up any fight, the mutants or the well, I guess the Lunatics a little, but yes. Okay, on the last day, he's got 5. I'm trying to think. I want to say everyone was on their game, so let's see who you thinking. The Ancient Spirits of Evil, maybe.
First Bungle. A small one, but still one. First Bungle was Lion-O not using the Sword of Omens to find out the origin of the earthquakes, and he would have seen huge Mumm-ra. He would have seen King Kong Mumm-ra, Hunkra.
Right.
Okay, that's the first
And he would have said, Mumm-ra, and he's gigantic.
We need to be careful. Don't walk into him. Let's all go together. Yep. Second Bungle. Mumm-ra thinking that burying Lion-O in molten lava or turning it to stone was going to stop the Sword of Omens. That was the second Bungle.
Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Yes.
Third Bungle, Mumm-ra's plan in general.
Not just killing them?
Because I think what was he going to do what if all the ThunderCats were on Thundera? What was he going to do? Destroy Third Earth? What planet was he going to rule over? If he just
part of his thing
planet?
Was to part of it was to destroy Third Earth.
But then where was his pyramid going to go?
You know where. New Thundera. That's where he's already got the new one there, so that's what I think he's thinking.
Fourth Bungle for me would have been how the spirits of evil, unless they just really thought that the other ThunderCats were useless. They're in space. How was Mumm-ra going to kill them in space by the end of the day when they were out all over the place? They said you need to get rid of all the ThunderCats. Maybe I'm nitpicking, but there were 3 ThunderCats and Snarfer up in space. That didn't get rid of all the ThunderCats.
You know what, though? I'll give it to him. Because, David, what are they going to do when the Sword of Omens is gone? If he thinks the Sword of Omens is gone, he probably figures
but maybe
they come back.
Maybe they could have summoned the Sword of Omens. And maybe when Mumm-ra was sleeping, they could have found out where Lion-O was.
Well, and true, he didn't
maybe
take
once Lion-O dies, Lion-O dies,
it goes to the next.
The next succession would have been my second husband.
I'm still thinking Cheetara. I still think Cheetara would have
She's dead.
Done.
In this episode, she's dead already. It would have had to have been
Humaira
Linkso. or Bengali.
Well,
Now, if you're
Linkso wouldn't have taken it, so it would have either had to go to Bengali or Pumaira.
Maybe Pumaira would have taken it. Pumaira would have been like me, chop and ask questions later.
Pumaira would have been like, the whole world is changing. Oh my god, we could do a whole what if episode about the secession of the sword too. The secession of the sword. That could have been an episode. Speaking
is
of
that like the secret of the sword?
Yeah.
So
the secession of the sword.
So what did you think about all the bungles I just brought up?
I love them all.
Episode.
I love them all.
And that's another thing. Just saying that something has a bungle does not mean it's a bad episode.
No, not at all.
When we say bungle, we're talking about who inevitably made it okay for the Thundercats to basically survive and make it through.
Exactly. And we do throw in the writer or the writer once.
Or the writers, because we think it's like, really? Did you really have a cotton candy monster? I don't know. Something. I'm just making something up, but like, really? You know what I mean?
Did you really put Wilykat on his lap as a mime?
In clown makeup?
Makeup. So, no, I agree. And I like the bungle of leaving the last 3 Thundercats in space. Okay, you convinced me. But I'll say, too, that they didn't give him the final push. Literally, when Lion-O's right at his feet, they could have given him one last power boost and said, Mumm-ra, you got 5 minutes now. We have given you all of our power.
We gave it a 5 hoes. We also gave it 5 bungles then.
A hoe for every bungle. There you go.
So are you telling me that we, on our last episode of this
Season 3,
not only gave this episode the highest honor of 5 hoes, we also gave it the highest amount of bungles ever recorded. And we're asking every single listener to go to Apple Music right now. We're not kidding, people. Come on now. Instead of going and listening to anything else, because we're not going to have Thundercats next week, you go to Apple.
Yeah. Fill that void with giving us love. No, but yes. So, Bunglers, we hope that this is going to keep you going. Again, we're going to surprise you during the summer. This is not the last of Thundercats. This is the last official season episode, but we still have Bungler mail to get to. And after this episode, we're going to have more Bungler mail to get to, hopefully. So,
and again, this last season of the original series, we have
20 episodes.
Back special guests. I know we're going to have Zach back, or we're going to have lovely Leah. We're going to have Buddha. It's going to be a goodbye, our goodbye tour. But then we're going right into 2011. But so it's not the end of Thundercats. So we have more Thundercats, but it will not obviously be the original series. So, but we have some stuff planned. I would love to maybe do a giveaway too somewhere. We have to figure that out. But we'll talk. We're going to talk off camera.
We do have an artist working on art, so we're going to have an official T-shirt, hopefully, that gets made into some kind of
that Warner Brothers or whoever won't try to attack us on.
Speaking of Alan hooked us up with someone who maybe potentially can print the shirts for us so we could avoid the copyright issues. So we will officially have our first, I guess, official merchandise that didn't get pulled. September will be the start of our new season, not only of our main show, but also Thundercats. And really, it is going to be a celebration of a season.
I will have straws.
Yes, we're going to have straws, especially if we do that Christmas cooking with Zach. We'll have to have straws and glasses. And Bunglers, thank you. Thank you for coming to this point. Thank you if you are newly listening as well and binging like lovely Leah did. And then Daniel, Costas. I mean, Mitesh has gone back to older episodes. Everyone who's joined us on our journey, this might be the best time. Maybe even over the summer, we can gather, people who are still catching up, and then we can go into our last season with an army of Bunglers.
Yeah, it's really funny is that we had just talked, was it the last episode, how there was a thing on, was it Reddit? Mm-hmm. Reddit that people were like, I can't believe there's no Thundercats podcast. We had talked about this, and Ryan, after a year, finally found out about it and got back to the person. And then we have someone that said, like Tim, and said, I didn't even know you guys existed for years. So I am extremely excited. I'm just excited that
to complete the series.
I don't want it to end in the sense of because the original series is what kind of drew us into this whole universe and whatever, as far as that's concerned. But there will be such a sense of accomplishment when we do finish this, and also to be the first and only podcast to have done all the Thunder. I feel like as silly as that sounds, it's like our little piece of
yes.
I don't know. Our little mark on the
world,
the internet, our little YouTube, our little thing, our little algorithm, whatever you want to call it, our little slice of whatever, this great big world that we put a little mark on it. I mean, that someone one day could come across it when we're not here anymore and say, "Oh my God, I listened to this thing with these brothers from 20 years ago, and they did this thing on this, show about these cats in space."
My God, they didn't speak right, and they were sexual, but they got through it.
Yeah, it's like, it's so funny. Like, and I mean, obviously, we've talked about different things and different topics, and I am excited.
But you know what, David? Though, when we talk about ThunderCats 2011, we're still going to talk about 1985. We're
of course,
it's going to just continue. Just for bunglers who might not think, we're going to continue with all of this prior knowledge like we have.
And in fact, we're going to tie them together, and we're going to be doing a lot of, in fact,
because we're freshly off of this series. And
I feel like if we're going,
this,
I feel like if we're going to do the way I think we're doing it, I think we're going to almost be very intellectual about the way we dissect this next.
Oh yes.
And how we comparative and say, okay, do you remember when Lionel did this in the original versus this? How this is this way, and how Mumm-ra acted this way. He's more like this in this reimagination, the franchise, etc. So I'm excited about it too.
And there's no way we're not going to mention our jokes as well. Like, the jokes will continue. Things that you've learned from, like, it's going to be the same exact show. We're just, unfortunately, there's no more 1985 left. But, the running jokes, we'll see what this show actually brings. I mean, it's a serious show, and then by Roar, it just is insanity. So I don't even know.
How many episodes have there of Roar?
60.
60?
It's like the first order of the first season of ThunderCats. It's like,
are they like, how long are they? Are they the same?
If we do 2 episodes, it's like 4 stories altogether. You know what I'm saying? They're like shorts. 1 episode of Roar is 2 short stories.
Okay. Well, we'll have to look into that.
And they go to the beach, and they go here.
This is the best part. I have not seen any of Roar. And in fact,
neither has half of our audience.
I was a purist, and when I felt like they were kind of making fun of it, at first I kind of got slightly offended.
Oh, I was too. But then I watched it, and I'm like, oh.
But at the same time, for what Ryan has said and some other people have said, first of all, I want to continue this love for the ThunderCats in any way, shape, or form because of the love of the ThunderCats. And again, every milestone that we go through and cover, like when we do the next, what is it, the 2011, I'm going to feel super accomplished that we covered all of that. And once we do Roar, I'm going to be really excited about that. And whatever way we choose to do that, we'll see. But I'm going to be excited about it because we held truth to our brand and what we bring to the table. So I'm excited about it. But obviously, we're not done with the original. So here we go. I've thought of in the future after we do things like this, and Gem is going to be our project after this. Oh my God, we have special guests coming soon.
Oh my God, that's incredible. Stay tuned, Bunglers, for that if you are a fan of other cartoons. But we could even do like comic reviews, Dave. I mean, we could extend if we had to, we could extend ThunderCats for many years. Bunglers, don't worry. Hopefully, if you'll have us, we will be around Ed. And like Mumm-ra, you cannot get rid of us. So over the summer, this would be the most fantastic time. We say it in joke, but this would be the time. Someone who likes ThunderCats, share it with them. If you haven't left a review, please do. It's like, we never used to ask for reviews because honestly, we're not like those people. And I always want things to be natural and feel real. But it is what we need. We really do need the review.
Because the fact is that when people are telling us things like Tim and other people that we didn't know that your podcast existed. Now, here's the thing. And again, I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I just want to put it out there. How easy in this day and age to type in something in your search and find something immediately. To type in ThunderCats podcast and for us to not come up, considering we're the only ThunderCats podcast that's out there that I know of.
There's been ones that started over the years, but only.
But is insane to me. So it's very confusing to me considering the amount of guests we've had on, considering the amount of, I want to get on my soapbox because Ryan and I have talked about this privately. We've had on, again, and it's not about the caliber of the people, but it is at the same time. Like for me, it's like we've had on directors, we've had on authors, we've had on actresses, we've had on people that are industry people, composers, we've had on people in the other the other portion of the podcast, the Radical Retro Rewind podcast, that I always said to Ryan, it gives us legitimacy. Like I'm old school. Like I feel like the quality of the work is based on the fact that, hey, someone saw that, gave us the opportunity because they saw that we put out a quality product. So again, I'm not going to try to guilt anybody into saying, but the bottom line is, but I am. But it bothers me that when you type in ThunderCats podcast,
I just did it now,
that we don't come up. Like I don't.
We're like
understand
the fourth
that.
thing. We're like the fourth thing now.
It would be nice if we could break that or get into something where it's easier. Just because, again, we're not seeking fame. We're a humble podcast. We're doing this to keep the ThunderCats alive for people and for us to meet new people and for us to keep our bond together as brothers and to enjoy this franchise and continue its legacy. That we're not doing this as much as we laugh about the $8, which we'll continue to do until I will beat the dead horse until it's dead and over again, and until Mumm-ra comes back again. It would be nice if for once that we do come up as on the search once you search for it. It would be nice to see
after
that.
5 years. It would be nice.
So if somebody can do that for us, thank you. If someone can start putting in some reviews for us, how you feel about the podcast, if you liked it.
Please.
Definitely, wherever you can put a review, a thumbs up, a like, let other people in the community.
And our bunglers do that. We appreciate you so much.
It just bothers me that someone who really loves it, like this Tim who contacted us, took the time to write to us and took the time. Obviously, he enjoyed the podcast because he binged it up until he's almost up. Like,
that's really nice.
So for me, for him to not have known about us, and we've been doing this for so long, and obviously either we're doing something wrong, the universe doesn't like us.
Probably. Yeah, you have to have reviews. It's horrible.
So if especially you said Apple is a big thing, I don't know, but
Apple is Apple is the only one that seems to matter, unfortunately.
So if you have it, please, please, please.
Bunglers, if you have it over the summer, this would be the most fantastic time. Join us again in September for our main episodes. If you're here during the whole summer, we have episodes through September, and we might just surprise you with a ThunderCats mail and more. So enjoy your summer break, kitty cat fans, if you're not following with us. But we do hope to see you over on Radical Retro. We have a lot of fun there. And David, this is our last time for this season. It's been the last day. Mumm-ra is put into a tile. The pyramid has collapsed. And yet, I'm still hearing that there's a ThunderCat ho around here.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Don't you dare call me a hoe. Am I the hoe?
Listen to me, Lion-O. The guardian of the Book of Omens told me that Mumm-ra's super strength will only last till sunset.
Sundown, evil twilight on the earth now. Mutant minions getting sweaty now. Somewhere ThunderCats, I know you're scheming. The sword is gleaming. The tower's in a standoff, praying that the sun drops, hoping that by nightfall I'll still have my tomb. And I'm a little stressed too, 'cause I can only think of you, Lion-O. Hoping that tonight's off won't go to P.F. Chang's. Sundown, ancient spirits said it's do or die. Conquer them or kiss your life goodbye. Somewhere ThunderCats, I know you're ready. The lair is sticky. Sundown, air gets darker in my
town. Time is up, I gotta take 'em down. Somewhere, Thundercats, I know you're waiting. The tiles vibrating. Time, don't want to rush, but they've got that sword. And Panther's tank just smashed through my door. I need a better plan, or just run. Oh, just run. Say you're shaking too, cause I'll still look for you at sundown. There's lights looming in the whole of town. Ancient spirits gonna take me down. Somewhere, Thundercats, I know you're waiting. The earth is quaking. Sundown. Spirits warning in my heart pounds. This is it, I'm gonna lose my crown. Somewhere, Thundercats, I know you're waiting. The swords vibrating. Sundown. Spirits warning in my heart pounds. This is it, I'm gonna lose my crown. Somewhere, Thundercats, I know you're waiting. The swords vibrating.